yeah. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. Yeah, 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 yeah. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trash talking, who the best? Who make good or bad trades? Who pick the best players? Who got certified game? We just football lovers. Come and join the funny games with the banter brothers. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. Yeah. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. You're now tuned in to the Banter Brothers with your host Brian Paulo and his co-host Nick Johnson, coming at you live with this week's fantasy football highlights and trash talk. Banter Brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers.
Hey, what up, Nick?
What's going on in week 12?
Week 12 indeed.
That's right. Before we get into all the real stuff, can we talk about these videos that you're posting? To let people go behind the Iron Curtain, we're filming. It is 8:36 p.m. on Saturday night, and Brian sent out this very creative video where he's sitting in the Millennium Falcon beside Chewbacca.
Chewy. Hey, Chewy.
Yep, Chewy, very good, very creative, very wonderful. But here's my critique. Do you think you could stop taking NyQuil before you start making these videos? You're like, hi, Chewy.
I know.
You think you can give me a hand and not play? Like, how about a little bit of energy? You're traveling in a galaxy far, far away.
I'm not the greatest actor. I know. I'm sorry.
Your arms and legs out of his sockets if he wants to. You're like, hey, Chewy.
I just started my caffeine fix. I know. Listen, I'm not the greatest actor. This is just I'm trying. I'm slowly blending out, So
I got to tell you how the mighty, if you were ever mighty, have fallen. Where you're now begging poor, invisible, not real Chewbacca to not start Rogers because it just hasn't gone so well for you since Thursday.
No, it has not. No, that is correct, Nick.
Well, that's how I'm starting.
Yeah, this is going to be a little tough with me this week. I'll tell you that with Taylor. Thursday I was looking for a little push with Montgomery, and
listen, the juju is not on your side right now, buddy. Like if you watch the Thursday games, which I did, unfortunately, but if you watch the Dallas Cowboys game, okay, it was 90% Tony Pollard the entire game. Zeke was obviously not healthy.
Yeah,
he was barely playing, and it was shaping up and looking, if you were to watch that game, like Zeke was not going to score any points and you were going to be off to the races, right? Obviously, we can get to Montgomery. He didn't have a great game. But Zeke was just not in. He just wasn't playing. Yeah. And Tony Pollard gets him down to the 1 yard line. They're like, thanks, Tony. Got it from here. Yeah. And they put Zeke in for the 1 yard touchdown, and it saves that fantasy point game for Taylor. Yeah. And obviously puts it to the point where you were up by, projected 10, and you lost projected 10 points in the span of 1 day between two players you had going.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm still up a little bit, but at the end of the day, I know it's going to be tough.
The juju, it just isn't there. The juju.
Yeah, it is. This was just
not
kind of happening.
Just the juju.
It is. I know. But you know what? I feel that it's going to come around. I'm going to get my win. I need it. So
I don't believe you. Based on that video, you're begging poor old Chewbacca. I don't think you feel that at all. I think you're on the juju side with me, buddy. I think
I'm the only thing. Yeah, I am worried about Rodgers having this little big game. I think he's going to throw a big 40 burger, and that's what I'm a little worried about.
Yeah, him and his broken COVID toe.
I think he's just going to go, just saying, you know what? Watch this, guys, and then just go bam.
Well, he did it to me. He did it to me last week, so you deserve it as well.
Well, I got Taylor last time, and I got Jared last time, so that's what I'm hoping, that I have my, that I show up. But I don't know, man. My projections were high. But, they're just dipping. So,
yeah, well, I mean, again, it's one of those things, and we talked about it before, where Montgomery had this really good matchup against the Lions, and you're sitting there thinking, that's one of my horses. That's one of the guys that's going to go over projection. He's going to dominate.
Yeah.
And sure enough, It did not happen, and that was a bad game. I watched that game as well, and the Lions just stuffed him. Like there was just nothing going on there. The fact that you got 8.9, that's generous based on how Montgomery looked playing that game. He was just stuffed at the line, and he got a couple of catches to even salvage it a little bit, but it was not a good showing, that's for sure.
No, I hear you. I was expecting a little bit more from him, especially against Detroit.
And Parsons got you a late sack to save that points thing. He was at like 2.5.
Yeah, he was not doing so good.
Mid fourth quarter, so you got lucky even with that amount of points.
Yeah. The only thing I got is he had the two big players. He got two kind of big players that didn't. They should have got more points than they kind of got. But again, it's going to come down.
They held serve. Is really like Taylor's players held serve. He's slightly under by a couple of points with Zeke, but he's a couple of points over with Hawkinson, so it works out to be a little bit of a wash. So he held court with those guys. And again, with Zeke, he got real lucky, just because obviously Zeke just didn't play like we had just talked about. So
yeah,
and now he's got a lot of his big horses going. So,
yeah, so do I. My horses are this is where my week is supposed to happen now too. All my horses are
not picking up a 50 burger with Taylor again, though, buddy.
This is where I needed my 50 burger. But you know what? I'm hoping that against Tampa Bay, if he can get 25, I'll be really happy with 25 against Tampa.
Well, I mean, considering he's going against the best run defense in the league, really, right? So it's one of those things where so I was listening to my podcast, of course, and it said that Taylor put up the 6th most fantasy points ever by an individual player last week. But if you look at your team last week, right, you obviously did very well. That goes without saying. But if you take the 50 away, the rest of your team put up 140 points. So if you had a good game from Taylor, just a good game, so you're 25 points, you're at 165 for the week. So the rest of your team really did not play terribly well, but you had a monster game. You get the win, so bonus points for with a win, of course. But it's not like your team is firing on all cylinders right now.
Not right now, no, because everyone is hurt now. I'm hoping that Barkley is now good to go. I upgraded my tight end position, and I'm hoping now Gronk is now healthy.
Yeah, did you see what Knox did on Thursday? I don't know if it's an upgrade.
I saw the highlights. I did, but you know what? That's what Knox does, and sometimes
he should have had 3 touchdowns, buddy. 3.
Listen, I hear you. I had Knox last time. He's good, but Gronk is better. We know Gronk is better. Gronk can get 30 points, 24. He can get all those points too. So
all right.
I'm counting on Gronk. I'm counting on Tampa Bay. I know he has Godwin, but I'm having my Evans, and I'm hoping that can counter. And so we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm going on me. So we'll see.
Again, what is it? This is week 12, so this is the 12th straight week of voting on you.
Yeah, and I'm 5-6 in that. So
yeah, that's a losing record on voting on you.
Hey, I'll get the 500. No worries.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
I don't know what else I can do, Nick. Honestly, like my team is like that's it. I think with Hurts, I'm going with Hurts instead of my other guy there, Stafford. But that's my only choices to have.
Well, Stafford has a higher ceiling than Hurts does, right? So Stafford has put up 2 or 3 games of 35 plus points.
Yeah.
Whereas Hurts,
he hasn't cracked 30.
He just doesn't because of the running thing. And this is what I told you last week when I told you to start him. Is he just doesn't? It's hard for him to have a bad game because he runs, right? So, but his games tend to be in that 18 to 25 range, where he's not going to goose you. Where Stafford can obviously throw that 9 points at you, but he can also get the higher end. So it really just depends on what you're doing. I think Stafford has a better chance to win you a week and also lose you that week, whereas Hurts is not going to do either generally.
I hear you. I'm going to go with I'm going with Hurts as of right now, but it's just by barely. You know what I mean?
I mean, when are they playing? So Hurts is playing at 1.
He's at 1, and the other one's at 4.25. So
So,
but he's playing the Giants, and Philly's good with the run right now. Like they have options. He's doing really good.
Yeah.
Stafford, he had 2 shitty games prior to this. The Beckham thing, I don't know.
I hear you, buddy. Listen, hard and heavy is the crown when you're trying to keep winning, right? But this is what I mean. Like for myself, that's why last week and even this week, I'm just enjoying like we'll see. Like I've got the matchups in. I'm not stressing out too much
You're
because
not stressed about yours? Okay.
no, I'm not stressed. But beating you 2 weeks ago, we should talk about that. Beating you again 2 weeks ago, it provided me a cushion where, yeah, like I've got my lineup in. It's fine. Like whatever, we're going with it. And if not, then so be it. But you're not necessarily in that position because you're fighting and clawing with a couple of guys right now for that position, and you don't want to. Well, there's 1 week till the trade deadline,
Yeah,
right?
I hear you. Hey, listen, I'm
I
still
don't think
holding on to
Mike has
this.
anybody left to give, but it's 1 week till the trade deadline, and you've got Chris nipping at the heels, and Johnny and Curtis and everybody else all sort of
Yeah,
bunched up. And what do you do if you're heading into the trade deadline and you're technically out of a playoff spot? It's a really tough position to be in.
it is. It
So
is. We're going to find out this week is going to have some interesting matchups
yep.
that will probably I think it's really going to really confuse a lot of people because I think a lot of people are going to, the ones who are thinking are going to win are going to lose. So you know what I mean? I think we're all going to get matched. I think we're all going to get matched up again, right? So anyways,
yeah.
But we'll see. I'm going to go with me, and you're
Of
going to go
course
with
you are.
Taylor Masur. I'm
Of course
assuming.
you are. I actually like Taylor's team better, and I think the
course.
juju is on. Well, not of course. I vote for you sometimes. I'm actually much more
One
pragmatic than
time.
you
I
are.
think you did one time. It was against Kevin, and that was it.
Yeah. Did you win?
I did.
So I'm 100% right then. You're 5-6. I'm 100%. I've had an undefeated season for voting for you. So, but if you look, you've got Rodgers versus the Rams. That's going to be a high scoring affair, right?
Or it could be tough because Rams are playing good defense. So we'll see. You know, the new ramp up defense with Vaughn. Who knows?
Who again? Everything is a who knows. But you just go with the odds of it, and it's probably going to be high scoring. Rodgers is just coming off of his 40-point shellacking that I got to enjoy last week.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase against Pittsburgh. Again, Pittsburgh is a banged up D. I mean, again, the Chase thing is very interesting. It's just that Burrow likes to throw and deal with him a lot. So
that's his boy.
It's not a thing. Jefferson. What more do you need to say about Jefferson and Rodgers?
And have two big games
in me last week. Like by the 1 o'clock games, I was like, well, that's over. That's That's 80 points from two guys. I'm like, I have nothing left. Yeah. Mixon, again, he's going to do his Mixon things, right? You've got.
I think one of those guys are going to get the points. Chance or Mixon, they're not both going to get big points.
They've been getting good points, both of them. Right, those are the two main guys. You've got Godwin against Indiana, who's again, he's that nice possession receiver. He's much more reliable than Evans is. Evans is a here or there.
Okay.
Looks against the Jets, worst defense in the league, right? So
but I think he's going to run more.
They don't have a good running game. That's the thing. I would agree with you.
I think they clarified their running game now. They really clarified their running game.
With Rex Burkhead and a geriatric David Johnson.
No, I think they released Lindsey. They released Lindsey now, and now they got what? 2 running backs or 3?
They got 2 really awful running backs. They're not going to do it. So they're going to run, and they're going to be relatively effective because the Jets are so poor, but they're not going to actually be really dominant in running.
I think Houston is going to win this one. I think they're going to be winning a lot versus the Jets, but
I think it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. It's not going to be a domination, but if I'm siding because your guys just didn't show up, the first 2 guys on Thursday, I think it's eliminated that cushion that you had, is what I'm saying. And I just like the matchups and sort of the trustworthiness of Taylor's guys. So I just go in with Taylor. But it's not like anything else. I mean, listen, no one thought Taylor was going to put up 50 points last week against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And that's what they decided to do because Buffalo didn't stop him. So if he's able to put up a 30 burger, sure. I mean, absolutely. Then, I mean, that does change things. But Tampa, they're getting Vita Vea back this week. They're getting a couple of their linebackers back this week. And so they're going to be back to that dominant. You're going to play Taylor regardless. I mean, it is what it is. Your team is what your team is.
I'm not going to put Freeman. Come on, no.
But that's what I mean. Like there's no one that you're going to put in there, right? So you're just going to sit there. You're going to see what your team does, and they're either going to show up or they're not, right? So I wish you nothing but the best.
Cool. Well, we'll see about that one.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, matchup 2.
Yep, what are we going?
Jared versus Nick.
Oh, well, obviously this is a sheer domination on my part.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, man. If he beats the record on you, that's even worse.
Well, listen, I've already got the title of Breaker Chains, Breaker.
No, you don't have the Breaker Chains. No, you do not. If you break this guy's record, then you're the Breaker of Chains. Right now, you're no breaker of
I
nothing. You got to
broke
break the
Doug's
score
chain.
record. No,
I
you're
broke
not a
Doug's
breaker of
chain.
nothing. You got to break his. You got to break his streak.
I got to
That's
break his streak to keep the breaker thing. What about the Doug? Where's my
the
nickname?
Doug is just one thing. The breaker of chains is actually like solidifies you as something.
So
Right
I got to
now,
break.
you're just
I got to break every streak. I got to break every streak along the way to keep the breaker.
Well, this will just
This will solidify.
that you're the breaker of chains.
Oh, I
So
see.
if you're not, then you know nothing, Jon Snow.
No, that's right. That's right. Well, listen, I think it can get done. So far, listen, I got to enjoy the Josh Allen experience,
Okay.
and it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable to watch a shitty team and go, "Oh, that's how you're doing it."
Yeah.
I see, but he's closed the gap from the projections, right? So I was projected at the beginning of Thursday to be beating him by like 5 points. But I've managed to hold serve, right? I've got my Stephon Diggs had a good game, not a great game, but a good game. So he won a couple of points projection. I don't. The Jared Juju came after me with Mr. Perryman though, because if you look at his stats, he's never had under 7 points the entire season, and all of a sudden he's struggling to get 4.5. But overall, I'm breaking even. And you know what? He's increased, but he's gone through 4 of his guys now. So my guys need to over project in some areas, and I think that I've got the guys that can do it, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I feel good, but again, if I lose this week, I'm 6-6.
Yes.
So I'm still in the playoffs. So I'm honestly not nervous. If I lose this week, talk to me next week. We'll have a different story. But I bought myself a cushion by beating you 2 weeks ago. Did I let you know that about beating you 2 weeks ago?
So it's just about you and I. Okay, that's just okay.
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
I bought myself that cushion of last week and this week where I was okay. Like we'll see where it goes. I'm lining up. I get Hopkins back next week. I'm dealing with a little bit of an injury bug with Eli Mitchell and his broken finger, but
Yes, you are. Yeah.
but I'll be okay. It's fine. I'm not stressed. I'm enjoying myself.
You're not
I'm
stressed.
I'm going to reclaim. I shouldn't have even lost it, but I'm going to re-verify in your mind the breaker of chains. And good luck with him next week.
Okay.
I think so. Listen, I started Doug's losing streak, and I guess I'll start Jared's for you as well. Whatever you need. If you need me to keep climbing higher mountains for you to trust and respect the commish, I'll just have to keep doing it. I don't mind.
You don't mind?
Okay. I don't mind. I don't mind the challenge, Brian. I don't falter and flail in the face.
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I'm trying to get your matchups here. I'm having a little trouble with the matchups here.
No problem. My matchups are awesome.
Okay, can you go over your matchups? I'm trying to get it over here.
Sure, like for my team?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got Lamar versus Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, it's a nice divisional matchup. Lamar has had lots of time to get over his stomach bug, whatever that is. So he's got a little bit of extra rest.
The shits,
no problem.
Yeah.
I've got Debo versus Minnesota. That's a really good matchup, right? I got Mr. Daryl Henderson going against Green Bay.
Daryl Henderson, yeah.
I've got George Hill versus Minnesota. Again, it's George Kittle. I don't think the matchup itself says that it's a very good matchup, but again, like George Kittle, you're just going to start him, whatever.
You have to.
Right now, I've got Brandon Ayuk versus Minnesota as well, and then I've got Miles Sanders against the Giants. So that's
Miles Sanders. Really? You're still stuck on Miles Sanders? That he's going to be like your guy? He's going to.
Am I stuck on Miles Sanders? No, I'm not stuck on Miles Sanders. But the matchup's good against the Giants with the red light, green light sort of thing. Right now, I've got Eli Mitchell banged up. I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start Jeff Wilson over Miles Sanders probably, just because of what he did last week. He was like 7.5 points, wasn't terribly effective. Miles Sanders, for all of the smoke and the gusto, was actually very effective last week. He ran 16 times, had 96 yards against a tough defense in New Orleans, and they lost Jordan Howard. So now Jordan Howard isn't going to be a problem this week. So I think there's a little bit of comfortability. I mean, I'm not super positive on it, but it's a flex. Like if I can get 10 points out of my flex, I'll generally be happy.
Okay.
And he's got the potential for more. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see where it goes. I'm not completely solid on it, but I've got those guys, and then I've got some guys coming back next week. So again, this week is I'm hoping to beat Jared. Jared's a buddy of mine. He knows I hate his team. I hate his team. And so, I hope to beat this team because it bothers me as how successful he's been with such a crappy team.
Well, he has 3 great players on his team that are doing him fantastic.
Right,
Allen,
but he doesn't have Kelsey this week, so he's
right.
lost one of them.
He has
Right?
Allen, big points, 36 points.
Yeah, he did a job.
Devontae Adams, again, big game against the
Yep.
Rams for sure.
But are they gonna? Hopefully, they decide to shadow him with Jalen Ramsey, and it's just a tougher game. He's gonna get his points, but hopefully he doesn't get 24 points. Like 8 catches and 622 yards and 3 touchdowns or some crap. That's really what we're talking about, right?
No, I hear you, but I like the Muth. I think he's going to get you some points in Pittsburgh. Like that
Yeah,
guy's doing some
yeah,
damage. Like he's going to be a good guy even for
yeah,
next year, right? I think
yeah.
too.
He's a solid. He seems to be a solid, reliable rookie right now, but he is a rookie, so you just never know. So obviously, I'm hoping he has one of the rookie. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting it, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Right? He's got Devontae Smith versus the Giants. He's going to get shadowed by Bradbury, which it wouldn't be a great matchup for him. So hopefully, he has a poor game there. Robinson versus Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta's not a very good defense. So it is what it is. He's probably going to get solid points there.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, god damn it. He had his touchdown in a month, and I clicked on his
I
I
saw that.
clicked on his response or whatever, the little update that they give after. He had the most rushes that he's had like all season on Thursday. Like, how about you just go eat a big DICK? Like, what is that garbage? Right? Right? Jalen Waddle, he's going against Carolina. That's a tough defense. So hopefully that's a little bit of a fall flat on your face there.
Okay.
And he's got Javion Williams, who, again, I like Javion. I'm just hoping that maybe Melvin Gordon picks up the touchdown this week as opposed to Javion. And that's what I'm hoping for, right?
Okay.
So I'm hoping Javion gets his 6 or 7 points from good, solid rushing, but no touchdown.
I like his flexes more than yours. That's all.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It's a tight matchup. The matchup indicates that it's tight. It's tight. I just hate his team. Again, he's got a bunch of rookies, and he's relying on, and rookies are supposed to be a little bit unreliable. So I'm just hoping that they show up. He's got
he does have a bunch of rookies.
He's got 4 rookies in his starting lineup.
Yeah, I just noticed that right now.
It's ridiculous.
Some Jalen.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So hoping that his luck just runs out. But I know he's trying to send me the bad juju. It's worked on Perryman so far. That was a little bit disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where we go. But he's already played 4 guys, right? So, and obviously Josh Allen did his thing, and Josh Jacobs did his thing, and so he's got points. I need my team to hold serve and do well.
I hear you. Your Perryman didn't really help you. He usually gets a lot of points.
He's a tackling machine. He just decided all of his tackles were assists.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's a little bit of the Temple of Doom sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a little something going on. It's like the curse of the poltergeist. The girl keeps dying. Everybody on that set keeps dying for whatever reason, heart attack and whatever, drug overdose, seizures, everything else. Jared does this to teams. I don't understand. He's got the lowest amount of points scored against him on the year.
I know, man. I hear you. Listen, I don't get it as well, but you know what? At the end of the day, he got his points. He's winning, and what else can you say? He has some good, decent players, and he has some crummy players that are getting some points. I don't know.
The breaker of chains, buddy. I'm coming for it. Listen,
I'm gonna break this one.
If I beat Jared and I break this, it's just my title, and I'm not freaking losing it. So I don't care what you try and do in your warped little background. I'm not losing the title.
Okay.
Period. The end.
I'm on Jared on this one. So.
Of course you are.
Okay. Ba-dum. Next.
What we got?
The hoodie versus
going for a 7th straight loss, right? Is that what we're doing?
How far can Doug slide?
How far can Doug slide? Well, he's lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 6. Right?
I'll tell you, it's not Darren Waller. Did he get hurt? He was out of the game, right?
Yeah, he got hurt. They don't know how long he's going to be out for. It might be a short time, might just be a week.
Okay.
It might be nothing, might be a game or 2, who knows. Okay. He should be back for the playoffs should Doug make it. But yeah, he got hurt. But apparently the prognosis is good.
Okay. And he also has Kareem Hunt coming in, right? He's
got Kareem Hunt. Well, he's been activated off of the IR. By all accounts, he's supposed to play this week. To what degree? Who knows?
Well, you got to put him into your flex at least. He has Ty Johnson.
I don't know.
He has a jet. You got a jet.
Yeah, but Michael Carter's out. I
Oh
actually
yeah, I
think
forgot about Michael Carter. Yeah.
like Houston's got a pesky defense. Okay, it does. And so, to say that they're this really awful team and you just know they're not the Jets. The Jets have the worst defense in the league. Houston does not.
I thought Washington has the worst defense.
Yeah, it's something like that. But I think they're going back and forth with each other. It's Washington and the Jets, right? Just horrible. I
Well,
don't
he also has Stevenson there as well. Do you think he's going to do good against Tennessee? Because
know.
they're
I mean,
they're a little.
I don't. It seems as though there's a possibility that he's might be out this week.
No idea.
It's unsure at this point. But the problem is, again, in my mind, if you're Doug, okay, if I'm getting into Doug's brain here, you got to play Kareem Hunt because you've been waiting for 5 or 6 weeks. I mean, I guess it's been 5 weeks because he's been on the losing streak.
Something like that, yeah.
So you've been waiting for it. I have no idea how much they're going to play him. He could play 5 snaps. He could be like CEH last week, where he comes back to the first game and he plays a ton of snaps, or he could be like somebody else, like CMC when he came back and he sort of played 15 snaps or whatever. It depends how Cleveland wants to do it. I mean, Baker Mayfield is absolutely destroyed right now. Their passing game is in the toilet. So it makes sense to play him. It just depends on how he is coming out of it, right? Like Dearness Johnson has showed up. Nick Chubb is obviously a man. So it depends. You just don't know the usage. But I mean, yeah, I think with the Stevenson against Tennessee's got a much better defense. They're holding it together right now.
Yeah.
I probably would play Hunt over Stevenson, just by the sheer fact of what Hunt was prior to when he left.
Yeah, you got to play Hunt. I think you got to play Hunt, and maybe Jacoby Myers. I like him.
No, Jacoby Myers blows.
Well, I don't know. I'm not. Ty Johnson. Stevenson.
I know
you're in tough right now. Like he's in tough right now against Chris, who put up some points already, right?
I know it makes sense, but if you look, okay, you got to remember that Michael Carter is out now. Okay, so you're now talking about Tevin Coleman and himself. Those are the two guys, right? Typically, Ty Johnson has been the receiving back, right? But he's got more talent and more juice than Tevin Coleman does. So if you look between week 5 and week 10, he went 10.5, 11, 17, and 11 points. Now against Buffalo and Miami, which were good defenses, he didn't do so well. But again, that was Michael Carter and that was a Joe Flacco and everything else. You're now going against Houston, who's got the 8th best defense to run against. I think that he might have sort of a pesky good game. And Jacoby Myers he's not a touchdown guy. There's not really a volume throwing team at all. I wouldn't be trusting Jacoby Myers in this one. I go Ty Johnson over Jacoby.
Well, he has to do something. He's already behind the 8 ball already, like 20 some points projection already. He's 70%.
Listen,
30%. That's
I don't know where Chris is getting his good advice from. I don't know where he's getting his good advice from, but he was obviously very smart starting Hunter Renfrow in his team. He's got a bunch of good guys coming in. He's obviously projected to win pretty strongly right now. Darren Waller's out again, going with the juju. It's not on Doug's side this week, so I think he's going for his 6th loss in a row. Oof. But again, 6-6 if it goes that way, and with his points, he'll still have the tiebreaker over a bunch of guys.
I get that, but
he'll still be in a playoff position. And I think next week, though, this is the thing. I think next week, Kareem Hunt is on his bye. Yeah, so Kareem Hunt is back on bye next week. So he's lost Kareem Hunt again. So
Henry won't be back, right? So
yeah. So listen, Doug has been free falling for a really long time now, and I don't know. We'll see. But I think Chris
needs this too. Chris needs this win.
Chris needs it. And listen, he made a little bit of a trade, right? He brings in Elijah Moore.
You got more. Yeah, you got more there.
I mean, we don't know what Elijah Moore is with Zach
putting
Wilson
up some points, man.
We don't know what he is because Zach Wilson, when he went out, sucked royally.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So with him coming back, Has he seen, oh, Elijah's good, I'll try and throw him the ball? Well,
Yep.
Crowder, it looks like Corey Davis is probably going to be out this week. He's doubtful right now.
Yeah, he's
So,
done. Yeah.
so I mean, I like Moore. You got to play him. Listen, I like him. He had a great game last week. So, you gotta put him in.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think the only concern I have for Chris is Wentz. Their little quarterback there against Tampa Bay. Like,
yeah, I talked to him about Wentz, and so
Chris.
I have a really hard time trusting Wentz. However, the idea is if you're going to beat Tampa Bay, you beat them through the air. You don't beat them on the
Yeah,
ground.
you throw him. I know he's going to throw, but
So,
he's also has the potential of interceptions because he does a lot of dumb plays,
yes, he does.
and sacks. He's just going to get.
This is what I had said to Chris. As I said, this is what it is. Is Wentz really does have, truthfully, the great ability in possibly destroying your week.
Yes.
I had told him, again, whether he listens to me, Renfro, or not, I would personally start Tyrod Taylor this week against the Jets.
Oh,
yeah, I actually would. I think that Tyrod is going to have a pretty good game. Again, not like a win.
Why don't you just go pick him up and trade him? Why don't you just go pick him up and trade him to him then? Why don't you want to do this? No?
Because I'm not Brian. I don't need to do that. You go ahead and try and do it.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not that kind of guy. No.
Yeah.
You're that kind of guy.
I got a burrow for
Chris,
you.
Chris, I'll give you 5 seconds. Pick him up.
Come on. Come on, give me a 19th rounder for Joe Burrow. Come on. So I
got some for Joe Burrow, by the way.
Yeah. So that's what I would do because Tyrod's got the legs. He's got the possibility of running for a good amount.
Okay.
Possibility he ran for 2 touchdowns last week, so he's got the ability to run.
Yep.
He's got the really, really awful defense, right? Throwing to Cooks, whoever the case is. I think that Tyrod is less likely to destroy him for a week. And right now, again, if you look at the projections the way it is, Chris doesn't need someone to get him 35 points. He just needs a guy not to get him 6 points. And so that's more Tyrod than it is Carson. Carson, you're essentially saying, listen, we know Tampa's going to put points on you. So we're trusting that Carson Wentz is going to throw enough to get those points. But listen, he had 11 points last week and Taylor had 5 touchdowns because they just ran. So Wentz has the ability to screw him this week. Tyrod has the ability to not screw him this week is where my mind's at. So I would personally start Tyrod. He doesn't have him on his team. He can pick him up if he wants.
I hear you. I don't think Tyrod's going to do Tyrod. I don't think he's going to do that good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Who do you think's going to do better, Wentz or Tyrod? That's what I mean. So it's just a matter of what your philosophy is. Like if I'm sitting here, if I'm sitting here and I'm looking, I'm going, okay, like my guys did a pretty good job on Thursday. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. Yeah. I'm right now projected to beat them by nearly 30 points. How do you give that up? You give that up by your guys not showing up.
No, I get it, Nick. I hear you. But,
you can't do anything about Metcalf. You can't do anything about McCaffrey, about Gordon, about Winters, Patterson, Moore. You can't do it. Those guys are all in, right? If they're playing, they're in. So what's the one guy that's questionable? It's Wentz, right? Wentz has the ability. Listen, Indianapolis has the ability to have a good game and win, and Wentz has 122 yards and 0 touchdowns. And Taylor's just done the whole thing. It's possible. So that's the issue. With Houston, if they're going to do anything, it's going to be because Tyrod throws the ball and runs the ball. It's not going to be because of anything else. So I would myself personally, I would just go Tyrod. Of those two, because I'm not trading for your crappy, stupid quarterbacks.
What are you talking about? This is fantastic stuff right here. I got some top 5 quarterbacks here for sale.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah, keep it going.
Well,
I like Chris this week.
Yeah.
Doug's team just it's falling to earth. It's an issue, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But I think if I was Doug, I'd have to play Kareem Hunt this week if he's playing, and I do it. You definitely have a choice between Stevenson and Ty Johnson. I just think that with Stevenson, he's got Damian Harris as competition for touches and for the goal line work. Don't trust it. You could be right, you could be wrong. I think Ty Johnson's going to get the majority of the points out of the backfield against a so-so defense at best. So that would be it. So I would replace Stevenson with myself first.
Okay, well, maybe it's time to trade Henry, eh?
Listen, Doug doesn't listen to us. Certainly not before the games, anyway. We know that because Mike Davis has been in his lineup for a long time. So we know that he doesn't
He
listen.
doesn't have Mike Davis anymore. It's gone. Mike
Yeah,
Davis is gone, right? So
because
he has
finally-
listened to us.
Yeah, because he finally got beat over the head too many times, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done." Mike
Okay.
Davis.
Mike Davis. Okay. So we kind of like Chris. Doug is. Oh, you're right
Yeah.
there, Doug. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Trade. I think you're right. Trade Henry. Trade Henry.
Trade Henry.
Trade Henry.
Yeah,
You're gonna keep Harris anyways. Keep Harris. He's fantastic.
Yeah, well, you never know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anywho,
What
are we at here? Oops, I hit too many buttons here.
We got
Johnny versus Curtis.
Oh. Listen.
Another tough matchups. We need these are tough matches for playoffs spots here, man. So
Yeah.
And Johnny just made a nice trade too.
Yeah.
Hello, Johnny.
Listen, surprise everyone. Listen, do you know? I have no idea. Does Johnny listen to these things?
I have no idea.
I can't even imagine that he does. I think he's way too busy. But Johnny, he makes a trade with Darnell Mooney. I mean, Darnell Mooney was great. There was before this past week that he just played. Okay?
Yeah.
Is that since week 4, he has been the 17th best wide receiver in
17th. Wow, look at you, eh? Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing any of this research. This is just what I hear. And I found that to be surprising. So he's the number 1 option in Chicago.
Yeah.
Not a very good offense. But if you're the number 1 option and you're getting this is what we were hoping for with Corey Davis, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
if you're number 1 option on not a very good team, you're going to score some points. And that's what Darnell Mooney is. So good trade for Johnny. He certainly needs it. He just lost AJ Brown for the next 3 games minimum.
Oof.
You've got Marquise Brown is questionable. I haven't seen any updates. I don't know.
Nothing. I don't think he's going to play.
I don't know. It's tricky, but he's like his team is falling apart right now. Corey Davis is
good,
right? Corey Davis's question is doubtful to play, so he's falling apart a little bit. But he's gotten his quarterback and Darnell Mooney out of the way, and they went over projections, right? And Curtis, again, he lost. He lost CeeDee Lamb, so he went with Cole Beasley. I recommended he pick up Cedric Wilson for Dallas. Didn't listen to me. Picked up Cole Beasley.
Okay.
Cedric Wilson did better. Thank you very much, Nick. 1 second.
You're one. Wow, look at you.
Yeah. I'll only let you know when I was right. Anyway, but Cole Beasley, it didn't screw him, right?
Okay.
So, got him a few points, but his projections, Dalton Schultz got him some points there. But I mean, he's had 3 guys go on Thursday. He needs his guys to step up, right? And Adam Thielen is the second weapon in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, Kirk Cousins against San Francisco.
He's playing Kirk Cousins. Oh,
yeah. Well, because Kyler's out this week, right?
I forget he's out this week. He has to buy too, but I didn't notice that even with Kirk Cousins. Interesting.
Austin Eckler got him 4 touchdowns. Got him 4 touchdowns last week. So,
Gaskin.
Fournette against Indianapolis, not a great matchup for Fournette there. Indianapolis has a really good run D, right? Myles Gaskin against Carolina. I hate that.
I don't like Gaskin.
By the way, this is real intense work here. I've done the work on this. I want to take you through the scores, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Since week 5, or let's go week 4. Here we go. Week 4, 0.3 points. Week 5, 26.9. Week 6, and I'll just keep it on. 2.4 next week, 15.7 next week, 7 next week, 12 next week, 5 next week, 17. That means he's going on the odds or even. This is very systematic. So since he had a good game last week, guess what's happening this week? Not a good game.
Okay.
So I don't know what you can do. Is there anything he's got? No, he's got nothing.
He's got the bench? No.
He's got Noah Fant. You know what? I'd probably start Noah Fant over Myles Gaskin this week.
Whoa, the Rizzi special?
Listen. Someone's got to win with a Rizzi special.
Yeah.
It's hard, but Myles Gaskin, it's going against Carolina. It's an awful defense to be going against. Miami is not a great offense to begin with.
They don't run the ball.
It's really hard, but I'm gonna side with the odds or evens of the gods and say that Gaskin is due for his odds or evens awful game this week.
I agree that Gaston's going to have an awful game. I agree. It's in Carolina.
But you know what? He also
But
has
Miami's going to win. I have a
but,
weird
but
thing.
he's got Aaron Jones in there right now because there's a chance he plays.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, if Aaron Jones plays, you're playing him.
Right.
But
if he doesn't,
then you got to put Noah Fant in there anyway. So
he'll
Curtis
pick up someone else. You're not going to put Noah Fant in there. You're not going to do the Rizzi special.
Curtis he's up against it this week, right? I mean,
listen, Johnny. Johnny's gonna. I think Johnny's gonna take it just because of his move.
I think Johnny's gonna pull it out. I think Johnny's gonna pull it out this week. I think Curtis he's really up against it. You know, he needs Aaron Jones back in such a bad way, and Aaron Jones is out next week, right?
Yeah, he needs Cousins to put up a big game.
He's got a bye week next week, so I don't think he's playing this week. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he is. I think they're going to hold him out till after his bye next week, week 14, bring him back. That makes sense. So, I don't know. I mean, I think Curtis is just in real tough. Johnny's had some unlucky injuries, but because he got at least Darnell Mooney replacing, AJ Brown at least for this week. I mean,
hey, this week you all go bad. This week
Johnny.
I go Johnny too. Johnny wins. He goes 6-6. Curtis goes 6-6. If Doug loses, he goes 6-6.
Yeah,
I go 6-6. You go 6-6. If I win, I go 6-6.
Yeah, lots of 6-6. The parity is there. We're the NHL. Yeah. But I honestly thought prior to Johnny making the trade for Mooney, I thought, okay, Johnny's just going to fall out of it.
He was thinking,
he was just losing too much. He now had no depth at running back since he lost Carson and was holding out hope for him. I thought, oh yeah, Johnny's screwed. But he made the Mooney trade, and it was a good pickup. I think that stabilizes a little bit. Yeah, so I got to go Johnny this week.
Yeah, I like Johnny. Hey, we agree again. Check this out.
Hey, every once in a while, Brian, you do your homework and you get it right.
I hear you. Okay, last but not least,
spoiling nothing. I think Rizzi is spoiled milk this week.
Oh, I think he's done. I think Rizzi has done all his luck, and
listen, his hope. Listen, he left the cabinets bare. You have to admire. Truthfully, I admire everything that Rizzi did. Listen, if you're gonna go into the rebuild, go into the rebuild, right? He wanted to keep himself sort of competitive, and competitive he was. Listen, he put Chris on the fine line of the ropes. Chris has to he actually has to win all 3 games, even have a chance at the playoffs now. He cannot lose. If Chris loses 1 game, he is 100% out.
Yes.
Okay? So Mike put him there last week. So, and he had already started the rebuild. So Mike has already done his spoiling job. He has earned his nickname.
Yep.
And so this week it's like, no, like Kevin, Pollard. I mean, again, I don't know where Kevin's getting all of his advice from, but wherever it's from, he knows.
Well, look where he got Pollard from.
Yeah, but who put him in? You gotta put him in. You gotta play your horses when you got them, right? So, it's probably going to be the AJ Dillon show again.
Okay.
Didn't do as well as I thought he was going to do last week, but we'll see what's happening this week.
Yeah.
And he got 21 points from a kicker, in Carlson. Yeah. And so he's off to he's already had 3 of his guys go on defense there.
Yeah.
And Mike's had a lot of his guys go as well. He lost DeAndre Swift early. I have him in my other league, so I felt that pain too.
Oh, I dodged that bullet.
Yeah. But Mike is starting a bunch of maybes, maybe nots, and it looks like it's Kevin's week this week. And so Kevin will be
Johnson. There's a Houston running back in there. Look at that.
Who does?
Well, Mike does. Yeah, he got David Johnson in there.
David Johnson. I think I actually would start Rex Burkhead over David.
So. You know what? Put Philip Lindsay right now. Who knows?
Listen. David Johnson. Fun fact: like 5 years ago, he was a top 5 fantasy running back.
Oh, you remember that? That was crazy.
Yeah. David Johnson and he's not that he's 29, which is older for a running back. But guess who else is 29? Derrick Henry, essentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there should be juice left in the legs. There just doesn't seem to be. So,
yeah, I hear you.
But there's always that chance.
Mike has the only decision he has is at quarterback. Who's going to give him the most points because he has 3 to choose from.
You go Cam Newton.
You go Cam?
Yeah, Joe Burrow against Pittsburgh. Not a great.
I say you go Wilson.
Well, you can go Wilson.
I go Wilson.
If there's gonna be a week that Wilson is gonna get out of his I've got 9 fingers,
Yeah,
right?
this is the
It's
one.
gonna be this week against Washington because they're awful.
Yeah,
But
and Mike needs a lot of points, and this is where you need Wilson has the higher ceiling right now to get you that. I don't think Cam's. Listen, Miami is going to stuff Cam.
maybe,
Letting you know. Yeah,
maybe,
they will.
maybe.
And so,
But again, I don't disagree, except that Wilson does not have a fully healthy hand, and he's shown it. He hasn't been throwing well. He hasn't been playing well.
what, that hand?
Yeah, Seattle's in disarray, right? Wilson's not going to be there next year. Carroll is going to be retired, and that team is falling apart. They don't have a good running game anymore. So it's
They don't have a.
it's just all of the signs are pointing way, way down. So Russell can definitely have those big games, but you know what? He hasn't the last 2 games. I wouldn't trust it. I'd have Wilson in there if I'm Mike.
Okay.
I just would. It's not that Wilson can't. It's just that, and if Wilson wasn't injured, right? If he'd just been playing, be like, yeah, you're absolutely right. But he came back early. He had the stint. His finger, he can't throw it, right? He's missing. He's overthrowing guys. They're not having great. It's just not there. I don't think that he's got that top end. Cam Newton can run it in 3 times. He can do the Jalen Hurts thing.
He can. He does have those abilities, I guess you would say.
Yeah. I would be playing Cam Newton over Russell Wilson for sure this week. But I mean, again, does it really matter? Let's be fair. Does it really matter? It's a battle of the.
Well, you don't want to be in the basement. You don't want to be that last guy. You don't want to be,
Why?
Why? I don't know. Just so you can have that little say, hey, you gave me last place.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't.
It's like you when you came in last place, Nick. Remember when you came in last place?
Yeah, and you came in second last. Yeah.
Not last. I was second last. You were last.
Does it matter? It doesn't
matter.
Listen, it's only you that's holding on to this idea that you were second last as opposed to last. Nobody else cares. It's like these guys. It's like the battle of 10th and 9th. It's like, who cares? So Kevin wins. Okay. But Kevin hasn't been dismantling his team like Mike has, right?
No, not yet. No.
So if Rizzi wins, he goes to 4 and something. It doesn't matter. He's out of it anyway. But, I mean, that's fine. But it's Kevin for sure. At this point, it's Kevin. There's all signs point to Kevin.
Yeah, I see Kev. I don't see Mike pulling up the upset just because of the whole Swift thing. So.
There's no horses, right? Like he's traded his horses away, which is totally fine. This is what you should have done. Rizzi has done it right. He has left his cabinet spare.
Yeah. Kevin doesn't have Hill, so he doesn't have his horse playing either. So
no, I mean I don't like a lot of his matchups. Like I don't think Judy's going to have a good game.
No,
I think Lockett can have a great game or a bad game just as easily. Yeah. Dylan, Gesicki, Pittman. I think Pittman's going to have a pretty good game. And then Harris again. Harris is the number 1 guy in New England. He's questionable right now. I haven't seen an update. But again, Kevin doesn't listen to this as well, I don't think, before the game. So maybe he does. Hey, Kev, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Kevin.
But he's gotten really good performances from a couple of guys. And I just think that all of the balls are in his favor right now. So go to it. Go get it, Kev. You guys can be tied for 10th place, whatever it is.
10th place. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So big implications on the standings if this happens. I mean, like a lot of teams could be 6-6 by the end of this week.
I think
it really mess up things.
I think it will be pretty funny. So if Doug loses, I lose, and Curtis loses, we're all 6-6. If you win, Johnny wins. You guys are 6.
And Chris wins. At least Chris will be 1 game behind. But again,
I don't know if that's entirely all possible. Is that possible?
Well, Chris is 1 game. It's possible. Chris still has a chance. He's 5. Like he's 4-7. Like he has. He could be. How many games? 3. We are 3 more games. 3
more games. Yeah.
So he can still be. Yeah,
it's all possible for sure, right? So, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, again, I'm not feeling pretty confident because the projections are on my side or any of this other stuff. I hate Jared's team. I just don't believe that he's going to do it. I just can't. I just cannot believe it. But hey, I could be really wrong. I'm trusting that it's going to be a good matchup, but then I'm going to pull it out. And all you other guys, who cares?
I can't wait to see the Breaker of Chains lose.
Why? Why do you root for me to lose? I've already beaten you.
Yeah, but not in the playoffs.
When was the last time you were in the playoffs?
When was the last time you were in the playoffs?
Last year. That's actually pretty soon.
I was in there last year too. I was
Yeah.
in the playoffs. I lost in the playoffs, but I didn't lose to you.
Game 1? Did you lose game 1? That's pretty common, huh? That's pretty common.
No worries. My team will show up. I'll be there this year. Don't worry about me.
This is what I want to know. I'm looking back at my matchup. I just want to know, do I have any Monday night matchups that I have to wait for? Because my poor body. Sunday, I'm just looking. Jared, Sunday,
I think
Sunday.
I got one.
Sunday. No, Jared is done on Sunday. Let's see me. This is all I want to know. Sunday.
You got one guy.
Sunday.
You got a linebacker.
Sunday. I got a linebacker. Okay, so it's probably a pretty good idea before Monday. That's all I want to know because I just want to sleep.
I hear you. I get that. I do the same thing as well. I think I only got one guy too. We're
gonna know by Sunday. That's good. That makes me feel good. But
I got McLaurin playing on Sunday.
This is what I know.
On Monday, sorry.
This is what I know. Okay, and I'm pretty confident in this, although I haven't fact-checked the numbers. Okay, I am pretty confident that if I pull out a win this week, that pretty much secures me the playoff spot, just because the tiebreaker is on points.
Okay.
So I'm pretty confident with that, although you would have to fact-check me to prove that or not. Okay. But if I somehow beat Jared, and of course officially in your mind, I don't know how this works, but officially in your mind become, again, the breaker of chains, the breaker. Okay, I think it's 7-5 because everybody else is at 6-6 or 5-6 or whatever it is. I think that it essentially buys me with the tiebreaker because everyone would have to win up to get there. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to be starting my best lineup anyway going forward. My trading is done. I'm done. I've loaded.
Are you sure you're done? I don't think you're done because as soon as I trade, you're going to trade. I know this is how it always works.
Yeah. Can we talk about your warped world where you make your trade? What was your trade for? Your stupid trade?
My trade.
You got Gronkowski and traded away one for the week.
Yeah, I upgraded my tight end. What do you mean? I got rid of Burrow.
So you trade away Knox, who has 2 touchdowns, for broken down old Gronk, who's probably going to have a punctured lung in a week. But okay, let's go with this.
More points than Knox this week. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Knox got how many points? 11?
Like 16 something. He got 2
touchdowns. My guy will get more than 16.
Yeah. Okay, so you make your trade and you're like, ha! Let's see what you do to counter that, Nick. And I said, well, I've already started. I traded for CEH. So technically, that was my blow. And now you're countering. And then I actually traded again. And I got what's his name? Darrell Henderson. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's going to break down.
We actually discussed this, that he is going to break down.
Unlike the tight end you just picked up that was out for 6 games because he's got some hurt lungs because his chest is broken. Oh, no Gronk smash. So you traded for a completely old and injury-ridden tight end and then start criticizing my trade for a guy that's going to get injured but hasn't been? Come on. This is your world. I feel so bad for you. The world where you're begging Chewbacca in the Millennium. Please don't start Rodgers. I could just really use the win, please. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. You should send him some nice country jam via Federal Express and just go, here's some jam, Taylor, if you ever want to consider, I don't know, giving me a win. Like, what kind of person begs for a win like you did and then posts it? That's your reality.
I don't think it was begging. I was just saying, hey, don't start Rodgers because I have a feeling of Rodgers. He's already in the playoffs. He doesn't need it. He's good.
You know that if he benches Rodgers, he's not benched in real life, right? Like, by benching Rodgers, it's all like it saves him. It's not like it's like, oh, okay, it's gonna seal up his toe because I benched him on my fantasy football. Get out of here! You're crazy. You're just crazy.
Big time, cray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but very interesting week. Listen, Chris needs to win.
Yeah.
Lonnie needs to win, but they both look like they're going to, and then it's going to be this nice mashup, this crazy, insane mashup. Because at this point, and this is the trick. If Chris and Johnny win and they're both at 5-7 and 6-6, the hope is still there, right?
Yeah.
So who's trading? So there's no relief coming.
No, I get it, but maybe someone's going to do something. You know that.
No, but with who? Rizzi has nobody left, right?
He'll find someone. Rizzi always finds something.
Rizzi will find someone. Yeah.
will.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. So that's going to be interesting. Is at that point, it's just going to be your team versus my team versus
Yep.
their team versus his
It's gonna be
team,
something like that. Yeah.
and it's an off to the races sort of situation. And we'll see where it
Yeah.
goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That was fun.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see who
Okay.
enjoys it. But yeah, shout out to all you people out there saying we need an emergency podcast to talk about something or other. 12 hours after we release another podcast. There is no way you could possibly want to hear us talk more. I do not believe it for a singular second. I'm not falling for it. The fact that you guys say that this is a good podcast or whatever it is, very nice of you. But you're obviously, like Brian, cray for sure.
I hear you.
We do our best to deliver absolute nonsense nonstop for you guys.
We got some content. We got some good stuff.
Sure. Keeps getting longer and longer. What are we at now?
55 minutes. Actually, we're under.
Oh, that's short.
That was short.
Yeah.
That was short of us today.
Yeah, we're nice. Oh, okay. So there have been a couple of suggestions that have been made to me via text for possible suggestions for rules and stuff like this.
Sure.
This is what I'm thinking. Is we're obviously not doing anything during this season for trades or anything else, not entertaining. It's not happening, obviously. But what I was initially thinking is that after the season is all done, if anybody has ideas, what we're going to do is just have like submit
a Royal Rumble.
No, not a Royal Rumble. But this is what I was thinking: is people that can submit their ideas or thoughts as to ways to make it better, whether it's that waiver wire deadline thing or just anything. It doesn't matter. Okay, it could be a change in the point scoring system, or it could be trades or not trade, whatever the case is. Okay,
anything.
What we'll do is we'll collect them all. And then sometime around, I don't know, who knows? Me and Brian will have another podcast where we just air them out and we discuss them out loud for the pros and the cons, so that everyone gets a good balanced idea as to what they are. And then we can look to see what's doable and not doable, right? Because I don't know what Yahoo allows anyway, but we'll just air them out that way, and then we can deal with it at that point. I thought that was a good idea.
Sounds like a plan.
It's my thought.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why not?
We're just trying to fine tune it to make it better. That's it. That's all we try to do here in our Banter Brothers little podcast. No ma'am, no sir.
No sir. Nick Johnson.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think, Paul. Yeah. Okay, I think we're done. You done?
Yeah, I think so. You know what? It was a really busy week. So I haven't had a chance. I was hoping to prepare a nice sponsored message from somebody. Maybe I'll try and do it next week.
We'll go next week. We'll do. We have I think we have a sponsor next week. Yeah, I think you are.
Do?
Yeah, we do.
I know nothing about this podcast. Are you ever going to let me in on any of these ideas?
Yeah, I am. I am. I just told you. I think we got a sponsor. Right? You're working on it, right?
Oh, okay. Is it me? So
you're the sponsor guy. Yeah.
Listen, we're men. Men don't communicate, but in this regard, you got to communicate with me. I'm like, oh, is it me? Okay. Because if you told me we've got a sponsor, I'm like, oh, okay, then I won't prepare.
Yeah. You're the commercial guy. You're the Go get our sponsors, man.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Good luck, guys.
See you around.
Take it.
Well, that concludes this episode of the Banter Brothers with your host, Brian Paulo, and his co-host, Nick Johnson. Make sure you tune in each and every week, where they'll be ripping up the airwaves, delivering you the fantasy football highlights. Again, this is